They pulled closer. Phoebe could see the panic on the men's faces. As the boat neared, the three men jumped overboard, splashing into the water. Kim adjusted course just enough to avoid contact. The rental boat, damaged and unmanned, drifted aimlessly. As they coasted alongside the floating figures, Kim slowed the engine. Phoebe pointed. "There's one on the left. Let's make sure he's all right." Kim nodded, keeping the boat steady. "Let's radio the lake authorities. They'll handle this." Phoebe looked at the frightened men bobbing in the water, men who had wanted her gone just moments ago. "You're not winning today," she whispered. And for the first time since her life had changed, she felt truly in control. Phoebe leaned forward, pointing at the man flailing in the water. "That one. Bring him aboard. The others can swim back." Kim inched the boat closer. With teamwork and a boat hook, the women hauled Phoebe's uncle, soaked and furious, onto the deck. Cold and coughing, he blustered, "Let me go this instant. You'll be hearing from my lawyers." "Oh, shut it," Phoebe snapped. "We know everything. You tried to kill me, just like you did my parents. You're lucky I believe in second chances." He lunged forward, but Kim and Sandra restrained him. Without much struggle, they tied his hands behind his back and led him below deck to a storage room, locking the door from the outside. Phoebe picked up the onboard phone and dialed Michelle. "Hey, it's me. Can you come over for dinner? Bring Bill, and something else I'll need. I have a guest." Her tone was light, but Michelle could tell something serious was happening. On the way back to the estate, Phoebe addressed the others. "Let's keep this quiet for now. I have a plan, and I promise it doesn't involve hurting him. But it will change everything." Karen looked hesitant. "You're not going to do anything illegal, right?" "No," Phoebe replied calmly. "But let's just say, justice can come in many forms. And mine might be a little poetic." Kim grinned. "I radioed the Coast Guard about the other boat. They'll handle it. Told them we were having engine issues." Phoebe smiled, thankful for Kim's foresight and loyalty. "Remind me to have Pickles send dessert to the dock, something extra sweet." When they arrived, Pickles helped transfer the restrained man to a secured space in the estate's basement. Upstairs, dinner was already in progress. Michelle and the girls had arrived, and Bill was helping serve drinks. As the meal concluded, Phoebe pulled Michelle and Bill aside. "Michelle, what did you mean on the phone about the girls?" Michelle nodded. "I think the change is reshaping more than just their bodies. Emotionally, they're adapting. It's like they're letting go of who they were and leaning into who they are now." Phoebe blinked. "You mean they're becoming children again?" "Not exactly," Michelle clarified. "They're just choosing peace, letting go of guilt, fear, memory, whatever doesn't serve them anymore. I think their minds are aligning with their new lives. Not losing intelligence, just the baggage." Phoebe sat back, stunned. "That may be the best thing for them. They deserve peace." Michelle nodded. "You wanted me to ask them something?" Phoebe hesitated, then said quietly, "I need to know what happened to the original Phoebe's body. We can't risk it resurfacing." Michelle placed a hand on her shoulder. "I'll handle it." "They trust me." Phoebe sighed. "Thank you." Bill returned with a small package, the one Phoebe had asked for. "Ready?" he asked. They made their way to the basement. Her uncle was pacing restlessly inside the secure room. Phoebe stepped in, calm and composed. "You wanted everything for yourself," she said. "The house, the money, my life. But what you gave me was a second chance. And now I'm giving you one." He scoffed. "You can't prove anything." Phoebe shook her head, placing the small silver canister on the table. "You don't need to be punished," she said softly. "You need to become something better." The room was silent. What happened next wasn't visible to anyone else. There were no witnesses, just the quiet hum of the door sealing again as Phoebe left. Later that evening, Michelle joined Phoebe in the lounge. "It's done," she said. "The girls told me where the original Phoebe was placed. It's secure. No one will ever find her unless they know exactly where to look. Phoebe nodded. Thank you. I feel like I can breathe now. And your uncle? Michelle asked gently. Phoebe gave a small smile. He won't be bothering anyone again. Let's just say, he'll get to experience life from a new perspective. They sat together in silence for a moment, the weight of the past few days settling like dust. Then Michelle raised her glass. To new lives. Phoebe raised hers in return. To chosen ones. Later that evening, heavy knocking at the front door announced the arrival of the local police. Phoebe composed herself and answered. Ma'am, said the officer, reading her name off a notepad, Sergeant McTavish. We received a report that someone named Mr. Dobson is being held here against his will. We don't have a warrant yet, but if you object to a search, we'll remain outside until we get one. Phoebe smiled coolly. Search all you like, Sergeant. We have nothing to hide. Karen will show you around. I'd rather question your staff together while the team looks around, he said. Soon everyone had gathered in the living room. Just then, Michelle appeared from down the hallway, cradling an infant wrapped in a pink blanket. The baby fussed gently as she drank from a bottle, and Michelle cooed as she guided her carefully across the room. If you don't mind, she asked Sergeant McTavish, I need to put the baby to sleep. He nodded, distracted by the infant's cries. Of course. Good night, she whispered to Phoebe. We'll talk after. After Michelle and Bill left, the search concluded, unsuccessfully. The staff's coordinated statements all matched. They'd been shot at and were forced to flee a boat pursuing them on the lake. The police retrieved a bullet embedded in the boat's bulkhead and promised to investigate further. With the authorities gone, Phoebe looked around the room at the women who had protected her, trusted her, and stood by her despite the whirlwind of lies and danger. I think it's time you all knew the full truth, she said. She told them everything from the can of spray to the transformation to who she had been. A silence settled over the room. Then Kim stepped forward and pulled her into a hug. You're one of us now, she whispered. The others followed suit. Karen smiled. If you left, we'd lose more than a boss. We'd lose family. Pickles raised an eyebrow. Still can't believe I kissed someone who used to be a man. Phoebe smirked. Try being the one who kissed a man and actually liked it. Everyone laughed. Hey, said Sandra, is Michelle planning to keep Linda? I'm not sure, Phoebe replied. Why? Sandra blushed. I wouldn't mind raising her. Michelle has her hands full with the other two girls, and I've always wanted to be a mom. Phoebe's smile was soft. We'll talk to her when the time's right. The next morning, Bill arrived right after breakfast. Drawn by the smell of fresh bread, he joked his way into Pickles, giving him 2 muffins. Let's hit the road, he mumbled between bites. Karen had already loaded the supplies onto the boat. As they walked down to the dock, Phoebe showed Bill more of the property. Not bad, huh, she said. He whistled. You've done well for yourself. On the water, the mood was subdued. Phoebe joined Kim in the pilot seat. I needed the company, Kim admitted. Phoebe nodded. It's strange. I used to think of danger as something rare. But life's become one surprise after another. Kim tilted her head. And how do you feel about the other surprise? The one you're living every day. Phoebe smiled, glancing out over the lake. Strangely at peace. There's been chaos, sure. But I'm alive. I have people who care. And yeah, I might even be learning to like myself in this new skin. Kim grinned. What about love? Feeling anything romantic? Phoebe chuckled. Let's just say, kissing Pickles surprised me more than I expected. I felt something warm, unfamiliar, and kind of beautiful. Kim leaned over. Be careful. He's popular with the staff. I've noticed, Phoebe laughed. Just promise you won't fight Sandra for him. Phoebe raised an eyebrow. Oh, speaking of Sandra, is it true she has a brother named Keith? Kim's face lit up mischievously. Who told you that? I have my sources, Phoebe teased. When Kim made a mock-hurt face, Phoebe playfully elbowed her. Don't even start matchmaking until I learn how to apply eyeliner. Kim laughed. Deal. As the boat cruised east, sunlight glittered across the water. It was quiet, calm, and full of possibility. I'm barely a week old in this body, and you're already trying to play matchmaker, Phoebe teased. Kim grinned. What can I say? Some girls dream in romance. Phoebe smiled faintly, but her thoughts wandered. She owed so much to the girl whose life had been taken, the one she now resembled so closely. The least she could do was ensure a proper burial, something respectful, something peaceful. Soon, they arrived at the boat ramp. Tying off at the jetty, they moored in silence. So this is where they found her, Kim muttered quietly. Bill joined them. Cold water helps preserve things, he said gently. The body should still be recognizable. Phoebe shuddered. The thought of a version of herself, lost below the surface, was eerie. Why don't you girls go into town while we handle things here? Bill suggested. We'll call when we're ready. Phoebe nodded. She didn't want to stay. She wasn't sure she was ready to see that. Kim and Phoebe caught a cab into downtown Jamestown. It was still early. Spotting a cozy cafe, Phoebe suggested coffee before anything else. You're stalling, Kim smirked, but I'll allow it. Over sandwiches and coffee, Phoebe hesitated. I know I need to get comfortable in my new life, but trying on clothes, looking at lingerie meant for me? It feels surreal. You never shopped with a girlfriend before? Kim asked, raising an eyebrow. No, not really. Even as a kid, I avoided those aisles when I was with my mom. I was afraid someone might see me looking. Kim's expression softened. Well, now's your chance. I'll be your safety net. Phoebe gave a nervous laugh. All right, I'll try. After touching up their lipstick in the restroom, Phoebe asked, Does putting on makeup ever get easier? Sure, Kim said. Like anything else, it's a skill. You've got an artistic eye already. It's not that different. Thanks. I really appreciate all your help. All of you. Anytime, Kim said warmly. Phoebe insisted on paying for their coffee, leaving a tip on the table. Then it began. Inside the boutique, racks of dresses towered before them. They all look great, but I have no idea what I'm doing, Phoebe murmured. Over the next hour, Kim led her through fashion basics, event types, color palettes, neckline cuts, how to balance flow versus form. Phoebe tried on over 20 outfits, ending up with several sundresses, 2 skirts, and a soft lavender gown. Then came the lingerie section. Phoebe felt strangely calm. No one stared. No one judged. The sales assistants were kind. Some shoppers even offered compliments. For the first time, she saw herself not as an imposter, but just as another woman shopping. The fabrics surprised her, satin, silk, lace. She ran her hands over them, feeling the difference. They're soft, warmer than what I'm used to, she said quietly to Kim. They're meant to be, Kim winked. Welcome to the club. They were mid-joke when Kim tossed a satin scarf playfully at Phoebe. She ducked, but it hit a passing man instead. The man picked it up, smiled, and handed it back. I believe this is yours, he said with a wink, before his wife tugged him away with a raised eyebrow. Phoebe turned bright red. Kim burst into laughter. Did you see her face? Kim gasped. She was one eyebrow away from firing lasers. Phoebe chuckled. Poor guy was just trying to be nice. They sat on a bench outside, bags in hand, catching their breath. Did you enjoy shopping? Kim asked. I did, Phoebe said. And I learned something. Oh! I thought I'd feel awkward, embarrassed. But instead, it just felt normal. The women in the dressing room, chatting, trying things on, I didn't feel out of place. Kim nodded. I wasn't looking at them the way I used to. I was comparing, not admiring, not objectifying. Kim smiled knowingly. Sounds like you've turned a corner. Phoebe nodded. Yeah. I think I've really started to feel like Me. Phoebe sighed. I guess you're right. I really did feel something when I kissed Pickles. Kim smirked. When you kissed him? From where I was sitting, it looked like you kissed him. Blushing, Phoebe said, it was just a moment. Oh, sure, Kim teased. Pull the other one, it's got bells on it. Okay, fine, Phoebe admitted. I was attracted to him. Does that mean I've changed? Kim gave her a gentle look. Not exactly. Michelle explained it best. Your body's got different chemistry now. Your emotions are catching up to that. It's natural to start feeling what your body's wired to feel. That doesn't change who you are. It just means you're adapting. Phoebe exhaled deeply. Well, after everything I've been through, feeling alive again is enough. If that means falling for a guy, I guess I'll deal. Kim leaned in with a grin. Just remember, I expect full details when you do. Phoebe blinked. Wait, did I just agree to give you a full play-by-play? Kim laughed. First rule of girlfriends, we share. I'll think about it. You'll tell me, Kim smirked. Eventually, they both laughed and hugged. Later, as they finished shopping, Phoebe said, You've been amazing through all of this. I'm buying you something. Deal with it. Kim smiled. I'll take a rain check. Let's get this stuff back to the boat and check on the guys. Let's also grab something for lunch, Phoebe added. You're starting to sound like someone I know, Kim joked. Oh, who? Friend of mine online. Every time we talk, she's eating. Phoebe laughed. Well, good food's one of the few things I've come to appreciate lately. They passed a bakery, the smell of fresh bread wafting out. Their eyes met. No words were needed. Inside, they bought a crusty loaf and 4 cream-filled donuts oozing with jam. Kim mock-groaned. I just felt myself gain 10 pounds. Next stop, a deli for some ham. Then, hailing a cab, they made their way back to the jetty. As they stepped out, Pickles waved them down. I've got it, he said, reaching for their bags. You take the food. We've got the rest, Kim replied with a wink. Phoebe asked gently, any progress? Pickles just smiled. Let's talk after lunch. Bill perked up at the scent of bread. That smells amazing. Lunch, the girls said together. Perfect. I'm starving. Lunch was quiet. The men kept their cards close. The girls didn't push, yet. After clearing away the dishes and touching up their lipstick, Phoebe finally spoke. Okay, what did you find? Bill met her eyes. Are you sure you're ready? Phoebe hesitated, then nodded. I need to know. Pickles answered softly. We found her. Phoebe sat still. We used the bait well, Pickles explained. Dropped the grapple down with the hatch closed so no one could see what we were doing. On the second try, we found her. Phoebe swallowed hard. Where is she now? Still near the boat's lower compartment. Bill looked up. She's secure. We wrapped her carefully and kept everything respectful. I want to see her, Phoebe insisted softly. Bill placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. Wait until we're back at the boat shed. Give us a little time to prepare things. All right. Just please, treat her with care. She deserves peace now. She will have it, Bill promised. Later, Phoebe suggested they let the men steer the boat home while she and Kim returned to town. It's hard knowing she's so close below. I just need some space. Kim nodded. I understand. Come on, let's go. Pickles can handle the helm. They hailed a cab back to town. We've got 2 hours, Kim said, checking her watch. So, where to? I owe you a gift. Phoebe smiled. And maybe something for the others too. 2 hours later, the 2 women returned with armfuls of bags and aching feet. Dropping onto the lounge, Phoebe kicked off her heels. Who invented these things? She muttered. Kim chuckled and carried the bags off to their rooms. Sandra entered with a gin and tonic. You might need this, she said. Sarah made a wreath, Karen's helped with the preparations, and we're almost ready. Phoebe nodded. After a few quiet minutes, she went to her room, wrapped the gifts, and changed into a respectful black dress with the help of Sandra. With her scarf in place and her heels adjusted, she joined the others by the boat shed. The group stood in quiet reverence. Phoebe stepped onto the boat where a covered form lay at the stern. "You don't have to do this," Bill whispered. "I do," she said, her voice steady. As the cloth was drawn back, Phoebe saw her twin's face, peaceful, almost serene. The team had done their best. She looked like she was simply resting. Phoebe leaned in close. "Thank you for giving me this life," she whispered. "I promise to live it well, for both of us." She stood back, eyes full of tears, and stepped into Bill's arms. The others gathered around in silence. Kim guided the boat toward the lake center. Using sonar, she found the deepest point. The group shared a quiet toast. Kim read a few short lines from a small Bible. Sarah placed her floral wreath gently into the water. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Bill tilted the board and the weighted body slipped beneath the water. They watched as the wreath drifted gently on the surface. The mood lifted during the ride home. At the wheel, Kim smiled. "How are you feeling?" Phoebe took a breath. "Better. It was hard, but I needed to say goodbye." "You didn't take her life," Kim said. "But you're giving her legacy meaning." Phoebe nodded. "And I couldn't have done any of it without you all." Back at the house, Michelle welcomed them with warm coffee. Phoebe handed out her gifts, each thoughtfully chosen. Michelle adored the elegant sleepwear Phoebe had selected. The girls giggled with delight at their new outfits. Even Kim teared up when she opened a new barometer. The last one had been broken during the shooting. "Perfect," Kim whispered, giving Phoebe a hug. Bill received a new fishing rod and the promise of future outings on the lake. Finally, Phoebe turned to Pickles with a mischievous smile. "And for you," she handed him a small wrapped box. Inside was a set of novelty chef's aprons, one with the phrase "Master of the Kitchen" and "Mischief." Laughter erupted around the room. Pickles beamed. "Hey, I'll wear it with pride." As Michelle and Bill prepared to leave, Phoebe asked, "Where's the baby?" "Sandra offered to take care of her," Michelle said. She felt a bond. "I think it'll be good for both of them." Phoebe smiled. "That's perfect." They hugged tightly at the door. That night, after a quiet supper, Phoebe watched Sandra feed the baby, now calm and content in her arms. Lying in bed later, Phoebe stared at the ceiling. Her new life was just beginning. She had friends, a home, a future, and, for the first time in a long time, hope. As she drifted off to sleep, one final thought crossed her mind. Maybe it's time to meet Sandra's brother.